What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome to a team analysis of the team that I drafted for the PPL offseason. If you do not know anything about this league, it's because it's not a big deal. It's literally free draft. There's no pricing system, so we just get to draft everyone and just test some stuff out, see how things are going to be in free draft. If things are broken in free draft, more than likely they're going to be broken in priced or tiered draft. So that's kind of where we wanted to head. Quick overview of things that were allowed. Mega Kang was allowed, was brought down. Pretty much the only thing that was actually banned that was new was Pheromosa. Everything else, like Mega Mawile, Mega Metagross, they were all allowed. But with the nerf to Mega Kang, we allowed that, and we limited it to everything pre-bank. So no Seismic Toss, no Power Up Punch, and no Elemental Punches. Now, it kind of sort of hinders it a lot, in my opinion, but it still gives it Fake Out and Return and Double Edge and Ow. So it's not the end of the world for it. It'll still be really good. But I wanted to draft a team that I think could do pretty well against pretty much anything, and that's what I'm going to be talking about right now. Things like Deoxys Defense, Lando Eye, Battle Bond, Greninja. There was a lot of really broken things that we're testing out just to see how they do in free draft. And to a point, I think it's also because we want to try some stuff to try to build against it, because the end of 6th gen got really, really boring. So we're just going to start out allowing pretty much everything and going from there. So as you can tell by on your screen, the first thing that I drafted was Magearna. Magearna can do anything and everything. It's defensive, it's offensive, it can set up Trick Room, it can set up and sweep, it can Volt Switch out, it can sweep without any setup because of the move Soul Heart. It has access to some really cool moves. Off the top of my head that I'm thinking of, this one is the coolest. If you guys don't know what this move does, Fleur Cannon's base 130. It's pretty much Draco, but Fairy type. So with the ability Soul Heart, if I knock something out with this, I only get a -1 in special attack, which is really, really cool. The best setup that it gets is actually Shift Gear, because it raises its speed by 2 stages, so it's pretty much like a Swift Swim, and at base 65, I believe that outspeeds like Scarf Chomp by 1 point, a +2 with Jolly, I think that's what it is. But it outspeeds like a lot of things, and it hits extremely hard with its dual stabs. It's only weak to ground and fire, I believe. Think could be on drugs. Ground and fire, I think so. But it also has some really cool moves like Aura Sphere. It has Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Focus Blast. You know, it has a lot of the really cool moves. It even can go physical with Iron Head and abuse Shift Gear and that base 95 attack stat, which isn't terrible. Like, it's not good, but it's not terrible. So it has some really cool moves. Volt Switch, of course. Thunder Wave is nerfed, but it has some cool stuff. The one bad thing about Magearna is the fact that it does not get any reliable recovery, so that's where I'm going to be struggling a little bit. A lot of my team doesn't get reliable recovery, and I think that's going to hurt me. Well, not a lot of it. Like, 2 main bulky things don't get any reliable recovery, and that's a little upsetting. But having Magearna as a Fairy type and a Steel type instantly gives me immunity to Dragon and immunity to Poison, and that's pretty big because of how many Fairy types are in the league format right now. With the introduction to 7th gen, there is a metric shit ton of new Fairy types that were allowed in the format. Like all of the Tapus, Magearna, like there's just so many Fairy types. It's insane. So being able to snag a really, really good one right off the bat is really good, and to be able to snag a very good Fairy killer right off the bat is insane. So once I got this, I wanted Necrozma from like round 1, but when I saw that Magearna was still there, I couldn't pass it up. I was like, maybe people will forget about Necrozma. But Necrozma is really fat. It's a good rocker. It has very, 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 very poor move pools on the special side. It has access to Dark Pulse, Psychic, Flash Cannon, Power Gem. That's it. That's literally it. And it's very susceptible to Toxic Spikes and Stall and things like that. It can't break Stall, so unless it's like Calm Mind, but even then, I would have to run Rest. So I don't think this thing is broken in the slightest, even in point drafted. I'm going to be doing a draft league viability on the Mons that I drafted first, because they're the ones I'm going to know stuff about. So, But otherwise, I don't think this thing is broken. It gives me a really good stealth rocker. It gives me a reliable stealth rocker, and that's kind of what I wanted the most. If I can ensure that I have rocks up on my side of the field all of the time, I have a lot easier chance of winning with the team that I have. And Necrozma is a very, 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 very reliable stealth rocker in 7th gen. So now that I have these two as a pair, I wanted another fairy type, and I also wanted a bulky water type, so I actually picked Tapu Fini. This gives me a defogger. It gives me a terrain to try to fight other terrains, because Tapu Bulu, Tapu Lele, and Tapu Koko were all drafted. So I wanted to have a terrain to try to sort of fight it and not just let them have their terrain up as long as they wanted. So I really wanted this thing. It's very bulky. It gets access to taunt. It's base 85 speed, so it's actually decently fast. And look at these defenses. Look at those defenses. It's stupid. It's stupid fat. I love it. And it's just so cool. I do think I got the, I don't want to say the worst. I think I got like the second, third worst maybe. I don't know. But Misty Surge doesn't boost fairy type moves, and that's what I think holds this thing back a lot, because it has a very subpar base 95 special attack, but just my opinion. With access to Calm Mind and Surf and Defog and Moonblast, it's very, very cool. It also has access to Haze, so I'm not going to lose to a bulky water type like Manaphy. Fuck you, Manaphy. And with access to Nature's Madness, that's another really big one. I wanted to be able to do half damage to something, because there are a lot of teams that don't have walls that have reliable recovery. With this, I can just send it in, go for Nature's Madness, and instantly get off 50%, and that's really, really cool. With access to also Toxic and Taunt, it's really good at breaking down stall. Those two moves in general are something that I really wanted in Tapu Fini, because if I can Toxic a wall and then I can taunt it, they can't beat Tapu Fini. Especially if I'm like Taunt Calm Mind, it's very hard for them to beat it. So I really like these three as a wall core together. And I think later on I actually draft a couple more walls to where it gives these mons room to be offensive, and that's massive. And I'm really hoping that I can use these offensively very well. The fourth mon that I wanted to draft, I drafted this just to shut people up, like no joke. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a little backstory. You guys have seen this video after I recorded the video on Silvally. Spoiler alert, I drafted Silvally. I just wanted to shut people up about it. Like, it's not that great. And I drafted it round 4. So, here's the thing about Silvally. Subpar in every single stat. And to be good in a stat has to be base 100. It's just my opinion. Subpar in every single stat. You throw an item, you throw a memory on it to change its typing, you instantly know that you can outspeed it, you can instantly know what typing it is and what weakness it is, it can't hold a life orb, it can't be boosted, it can't... Memories hold it back, has no reliable recovery, so it can't be bulky, and its move pool is decent, but it's more specially oriented. So if you just have a really good special wall that can take like Bolt Beam, and you have a decent wall that can take something like a Crunch and an Iron Head here and there, and then a multi-attack, you'll be golden. Like, it's not that difficult to build around, and I don't think it'll be that scary, especially coming from the fact that I have like I have 11 different typings or something like that on my draft. Like, it just goes to show this thing will not be broken if you let it draft every single type. I've already made out an entire video on this thing. I don't have to talk about it too much, but realistically, this thing I don't think will be doing that much work. I'm going to bring it to a lot of battles just so people can see it's not going to do that much work. In a game where I could bring, spoiler alert, this mon, I would rather bring this mon because it's faster and it can hold an item while this thing can't. But this is my Z-move mon solely because it gets Z-move Parting Shot. That is the only reason why. And if I want to bring a week, and if a week I want to bring like Calm Mind Tapu Fini, and I see that it can win late game but it's already taken some damage, I Z-move Parting Shot into Tapu Fini and then I set up and win. It's literally the only reason why I wanted this thing to be my Z-move mon. Anyway, I'm not talking about Silvally. It's still a really cool mon, and it's still one of my favorite mons, but it's not going to be broken or that great in draft format. Excuse me. I'm still a little tiny bit sick. This is the biggest cup in the entire... It's like the size of my head. Anyway. So, the next mon that I drafted was Zapdos. It gives me another Defogger. It gives me a Volt Switcher to go along with Silvally and Magearna. So, I have a pretty good Volt Turn core, which is really nice. I have a Static User, so if something wants to hit me, it can paralyze me. I have a very good Speedy Wall at base 100, and 90, 85, 90 is very good bulk. Reliable recovery. Also has access to U-turn instead of Volt Switch. That's really cool. And that base 100 speed tier is actually really important, because right now I have an 85, I have a 95, and I have a 100. Very good speed tiers. This thing is base 79. So realistically, going from here, like all the way up, my speed tiers are really, really cool. Pretend you didn't see this thing. So my speed tiers are covered. It gives me a really good electric type, a very strong electric type with 125 special attack. It's going to be awesome. You guys know what Zapdos does by now. The next mon that I wanted to draft was Infernape. It gives me another U-turner. It gives me 2 forms of priority. It gives me a special and a physical setup sweeper. It gives me so much that I can work with Infernape. And this is not a fat team like so far. It's not a fat team like my PPL D1 Season 3 team was. It's not that fat, so this thing can actually thrive. This thing isn't going to be the main force of offense. I have really good, like, bulky offensive mons to wear things down. This can be just a late game cleaner or a cleaner in general, and I really, really like that. But you guys should know what Infernape does. Very, very good priority Will-O-Wisp U-turn shenanigans, and it gives me a second Stealth Rocker. Spoiler, and my only other Stealth Rocker, so I'm probably going to cut it real quick so I can get the other mons open, but I really like these mons. I think they're really, really cool together, and I'm really excited to use them on a team together. I wish we could do this on Wi-Fi, but unfortunately, Pokebank is not out. Once Pokebank is out, I'm going to push that we do some games on Wi-Fi, but whatever. I'm going to cut until I get into the other team, and then I will be right back. Okay, so as you can see, we have Serperior here as my grass type. I have now completed my Fire Water Grass core with Tapu Fini, Infernape, and Serperior. So I have very, very good Fire Water Grass cores. And this thing is a very fast mon. I now go from base 108 to 113. So I have very, very, very good speed tiers. I absolutely love it. This thing is a setup sweeper on its own because of Leaf Storm. It has access to Leech Seed. It gets access to another taunt user. And that's really important because things like Pyukumuku were drafted, so I wanted to be able to have multiple taunt users. Glare is also really, really cool because it can paralyze things. And with my speed tiers, I think that's pretty important with this team. But you guys pretty much know what this thing does. I also have a lot of mons on my team that can run berries effectively and beat teams, so that's really, really, really cool. But overall, this also gives me a Cleric with Aromatherapy. I didn't even really think about that whenever I drafted it, but it does help. This also gives me another knockoff user, which is really, really nice. Dual screens. It gives me a Pursuit Trapper, which this won't be a Pursuit Trapper like ever, but I'm just letting you guys know it does give me that. But the main thing that I wanted here was like a very offensive grass type with Taunt, Leech Seed, can be bulky, can set up and sweep on its own. The next mon that I drafted was actually Zygarde 10% form because it gives me another faster mon at base 115, so you're from 113 to 115. Awesome speed tiers. Very, very fast. It's so good at being a choice band user. It has access to extreme speed. It has access to 1,000 arrows. So things like Celesteela can't beat my ground type, and that's really, really cool. This thing as a dragon type doesn't get good dragon coverage. I wish this thing got Dragon Claw. It would make more sense if this thing got Dragon Claw, but it doesn't, so what are you going to do? But with base 115 speed, it's a very good choice band user, and at base 100 physical attack, it's pretty much Flygon, but a little bit faster and a little bit better in my opinion. But I really like his iDoggo, and I like dogs, so this thing will be really cool to use. I'm really, really excited for it. The Mega that I decided to draft. You didn't have to draft a Mega because there's only like, I think, what, 13 of them? Like, there's hardly any of them now since Pokebank isn't out. And I really think that we're going to be able to get them after Pokebank, but whatever. I drafted Mega Sableye. It's fat. It takes so much pressure off of Necrozma and Tapu Fini. So if I wanted to run like a Calm Mind Necrozma, if I wanted to run an offensive Necrozma, like an SD Necrozma, I can do that now because I have this thing as a backup wall. If I wanted to run Calm Mind Tapu Fini or like Choice Scarf or Choice Specs Tapu Fini, I can because I have this thing as a backup wall. My walls are now no longer like specifically a wall. That's really cool. This also gives me a really good Will-O-Wisper, a very good wall with reliable recovery. It gives me a Magic Bounce user, so I don't have to always bring Defog. Normally, whenever you see a Mega Sableye on the opposing team, you don't even bring hazards 9 times out of 10. That's just people in general. So I really like the way this thing works on the team. Force people away from bringing hazards, and then that means that I could run like Focus Sash users. That's really cool. And it also scares people from running Thunder Wave against my team because I have 1, 2, 3 immunities, 4 if you count Tapu Fini's under Misty Terrain. And that's really nice. The final mon on the team is going to be one of my 7. I'm almost too tired to record. Anyway, The final mon is going to be one of my favorite mons of 7th gen, and that is Ribombee. I have 3 fairy types on the team, don't even care. This thing is base 124 speed, it's fast AF, and that's super important. Base 95 special attack is not good, however this thing does get access to Quiver Dance, gets access to Moonblast and Bug Buzz, so fun fact, this thing can actually OHKO Latios with a Moonblast. And Latias. No, not Latias. Because Latias is a little bit bulkier. I think after like 2 switch-ins to rocks it does, something like that. But yeah, this thing is very, very powerful with a Life Orb because of its dual stabs are very strong. And as you can tell by my team, I'm not super worried about steel types. Like, I have Infernape, I have Zapdos, I have Tapu Fini, I have Zygarde, I have a lot of really cool things that can just deal with steel types in general, so that makes your boy happy. But another setup super is really, really important. Quiver Dance is the main thing that I wanted, and more importantly than Quiver Dance is this move right here. Baton Pass Quiver Dance. If I can Baton Pass a Quiver Dance into like Serperior, Infernape, Tapu Fini, Necrozma, Magearna, something's going to be dying. A lot of things are going to be dying actually. Probably just going to be a sweep. But I like that because there's no Quiver Dance pass clause in PPL in general. So, but I'm really excited to use Ribombee. I like it a lot as a Pokemon. I think it's just really cool. I think it's cute. I like it. But that is pretty much my team that you guys will be seeing the games of. I'm probably just going to group it all into one video, like a quick little team builder and then a battle. Just because it's a showdown league. I don't really take showdown leagues too seriously. I take Wi-Fi leagues very seriously because I like Wi-Fi more, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, that's the team. Let me know what you guys think of it. Remember, it was free draft, so there are plenty of teams with broken things. In fact, I'll show you some of the broken ones. I don't know how you guys can see that super well. There we go. Yeah, you guys can see that pretty well. So, as you can see, starting off at team number 1, Mega Kangaskhan, Xurkitree, Scizor. Like, his team isn't super broken, but it's Alex. He normally drafts, like, weird things and makes it work somehow. Monos, that's the team that's scary. Extremely. Like, P2 Terrakion, Skarmory Weavile, Zygarde, Toxapex, Kartana, Tapu Lele. Like, threats on threats on threats. Jordan's is extremely scary. He has Tapu Bulu, Heatran, Latias. Like, ow. However, the bottom half of his team just isn't as scary as like his top like 5, maybe even 4. Slice is extremely scary too. He doesn't stop having threats, aside from like Vikavolt because it's so slow, but aside from that, he has like 1,000 threats. There's my team, of course. Travs is disgusting. It's ow. Victini went like round 5. Victini went after Delmise. Like, that's how you know that this draft was getting broken, because things like Victini weren't getting drafted. It was crazy. Throat is starting to hurt a little bit. Also, Nidoking. What? Shoddy's team is really scary. Plus, Shoddy's just like really good in general, so I'm kind of sort of scared to fight him. But then there's the last 3 teams. Cheese is pretty cool. It's not my favorite team in the world just because I don't like Mega Venusaur. And then I think Mega Venusaur, Arcanine, Vaporeon isn't like my favorite Fire Water Grass core ever, but that's just my opinion on it. He also has Kyurem Black, which is terrifying. And Klefki, and Azelf, which is terrifying. Jack has Emboar. Emboar is Ow. Thundy T is Azumarill. Latios. Nihilego, Mega Scizor. Extremely scary team. And Evelyn, who is actually my round 1 opponent, she has a Manaphy. Oh, I hate that mon so freaking much, but it is what it is. So that's pretty much the team that I drafted, teams that I'll be facing, things like that. Make sure you guys let me know what you think of everything down below, and I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.